Boker Tov, everybody. So this week's Parsha is the beginning of the book of Leviticus, Vayikra. It details 5 different types of sacrifices. And I know sacrifices are very difficult for us to understand in our day and age. We don't do them anymore. We haven't done them for thousands of years. So what relevance do they have to our lives today? I want to point in particular to two types of sacrifice that it mentions in this parsha. It mentions the sin offering, the chatat, and it also mentions the guilt offering, the asham. So we know that there were sin offerings. If it's known in the community that you have sinned, you have an opportunity to bring up this sacrifice to expiate yourself from your sin. But what about the guilt offering? What is the distinction between a sin offering and a guilt offering? And there are a couple of distinctions, but I think one in particular that I wanted to point out is that the guilt offering is when you are in doubt as to whether you have transgressed. And how do you know that that you should be making a sin offering? If you don't know, you're covering your bases, you're going to make the guilt offering. And I think we all have a sense of guilt. I think that's something that's naturally inculcated in us, and we're human, and we do feel guilt. Bless you. We feel guilt in all sorts of circumstances. Sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's even not, but we still feel it, right? We feel guilt. And when we do, we have the opportunity in those days to bring up a sacrifice to expiate our guilt, not just our sin, but our guilt, right? So today we don't have sacrifices, but I want to point to you in the Siddur, we actually have a replacement for that. On page 38, if you'll notice, during the Amidah, we have a point where we customarily strike the heart twice in contrition to acknowledge our sins, right? But it's both our sins, but it's also, if we feel guilt, that's the opportunity. You strike your heart twice, you have an opportunity to feel a bit of alleviation that you have from any guilt you may be feeling. And yes, it's for sins, but it's really for guilt because it's something that you feel. It's not necessarily that's been proven in the community. This is your personal prayer moment in the Amidah, and we have that daily, and we have that at every moment in the Amidah that's not Shabbat, because we rest on Shabbat, but we have these daily in our liturgy. And I think it's important to note because we often think of expiating our sins, our transgressions, our guilt. We think of that on Yom Kippur, don't we? Right? We strike our chest. We have many moments. We have the longer al-chet, and we also have the ashamnu. We have communal expiation of guilt and sin. But during that time, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to go to our fellow people that we feel we've wronged or transgressed in the past year and apologize, ask forgiveness, and hopefully we grant it to others who are asking that of us, right? But that's not just something that's for Yom Kippur. We do it during Yom Kippur because we're in a holy time where we're trying to have a clean slate as we enter the new year, right? What does that mean for the rest of the year? The rest of the year we still feel guilt, right? We still have moments where we think, I could have done better on that. Or that conversation didn't go the way I wanted it to, and maybe I should apologize, or maybe I should clarify myself to that other person, right? There are so many moments like that all across our lives, and it's not just. I want to point out that it's not just page 38 and that we do in the Amidah. It's not just the Salach Lanu, right? It's not just that part. I think it's moments in our lives, we still deal with guilt. We don't have the opportunity to bring that sacrifice, but we do know right from wrong. And we do, when we feel that guilt, I think we are looking for an outlet to alleviate that sense of guilt. And so I think many of the ways that we do this are, again, our relationships with people, and we should be safeguarding those. We should be doing our best to make sure that our relationships are as precious as they are, doing our best to make things right to other people. And it's also through tzedakah, right? I think we do alleviate some of our guilt in the world if we do good things. So even though the sacrifice isn't what it used to be, I think we understand what it means to feel guilt. And that's a personal thing. And that's something we all have the opportunity to engage in and to find a way to do better in the world.